Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to share with you a tip for if you're playing Warrior Titan. I'm adding something for my build, and this is basically, again, after I got to make it easy to do tier 14 and 15 with ease. I need to ramp up, of course, my clearance and what I plan to do. So basically I'm adding more basically AoE damage, and you can see the fire fissures that also triggered with my Sunder. And this is great. We're going to see soon in terms of synergy. What you see here is, again, I think it's tier 15. This is still not optimized. I don't have fire penetration here. I'm just testing it out early on, but once I had, of course, fire penetration, it's going to be much better. It also increases the size of the Sunder, and also increases the chance to have multiple fissures. Still, I have Herald of Ash for explosions. But the most important thing is, of course, clear screen, huge damage happening, and basically, as you can see, I'm adding Volcanic Fissure. Now the fissure duration is 12 seconds. This is a lot. I mean, you can spam it, and I'm going to show you, and it will trigger even after, of course, you do the Sunder. You can continue spamming it. So if it's come before or after, it doesn't matter, because the Sunder will actually trigger the fissures of the Volcanic Fissure. Still, it's not, of course, fully optimized. It's just testing it out. I still need to increase, of course, the speed of the skill, so I can actually spam it like crazy all over the screen. I actually got a really good helmet, which allows me to increase the skill speed by 20%. As you can see, onslaught, and a slight 10% movement speed. So this really adds kind of the extra that I need to make the skill speed faster. Of course, alongside other increment, it can be faster. Let's see what I get even more. Also, attacks, by the way, are super fast. Great against bosses, of course. But right now, when I did the 15, I actually changed to my helmet just for, again, higher resistances. But again, the extra speed will be needed, and eventually will just drop and probably use this helmet for the extra speed. Also recommend checking out jewels that you have, and that have the extra skill speed. If you have ones, they can be very good as well to socket them in. But you can see that you can spam the Volcanic Fissures like crazy, because it's super fast. So if you already did the Sunder, you can just now do, for example, Volcanic, and just spam it, and just gonna erupt together with the Sunder. It's crazy. You see, kind of fill the screen with the lava and stone eruptions. It looks really nice also. Now don't use this one. This is, again, my build, kind of a testing out with speed, and of course, as you can see, I didn't invest even in fire penetration, which is a must here, because I've already changed something to the 70% fire damage. But if I do that, if you don't have penetration, it's gonna be terrible against certain enemies, even small ones that have high fire resistances, and you won't deal a lot of damage to them. So it's very important to have penetration. But for this, I need to change, of course, the build. It's not hard for me to make changes, of course. Drop a bit of the speed, put into penetration, extra fire damage, and chances to ignite, and it's going to be great. So if you put, for example, fire in the search, you can find some different nodes that increase the fire. These are good ones to focus on, both penetration, of course, increase fire. To be honest, the area is already pretty large, so I probably won't focus on increasing it more. I mean, not yet. I first prefer putting points into penetration. Later on, I'll see, how it goes. Now, my recommendation is first start with the Sunder, and of course, if you get the ticks, you can just continue spamming both of them. By the way, you can put the seizures again, because if enemies come, for example, from one side, or big enemy comes, you can just put the Volcanic Fissure in that direction and continue doing Sunder for a chance to get, of course, higher fissures, more fissures. Also invest in increasing your aftershocks in whatever option possible, because again, this can be crazy, because once again aftershock going, you can just continue spamming in between the Volcanic Fissures. And you can repeat, of course, doing also Sunder, and together you can just have like crazy screen full of fire and rock that deal massive damage. Even if you deal it, a bit forward, the entire fissure connected will be burned. I mean, will be erupt with lava. So you don't need to do it like cover it in order to do it. But then this is tier 15, very easy with the build, really no challenge whatsoever, barely getting hit. Here I just want to show you there's an enemy that was a bit resistant to fire. Took a long time to get. Of course, if I had penetration, it'd be much easier. So again, if you have penetration, make sure to use it. Also check jewels, not just the tree, the passive skill tree. Make sure to have everything so you can deal massive damage with it. But again, even against bosses, once you get it and put lots of fissures, this will ramp up in terms of burst damage, burst fire damage, and it can be amazing in terms of damage overall DPS. Now, of course, I can use my leap and, you know, get a dot and eliminate, but I didn't want to count on it as a main thing, because then you're relying always in kind of a fine-tuning your prime stun in order to do that. Of course, it's great, but I don't rely it on in general clearance. It works now, even now. So I will take use of that, but this is not the main path that I'm going with. And of course, if I get the opportunity to do it, because again, I'm just, you know, doing all over the screen this thing, it will be like that, of course, eventually. I will just tap them if somebody comes close. Basically, that's it. Also, you can add, by the way, slow, but I don't think it's necessary, because again, if you focus on damage, you're going to clear things very fast, so it won't be necessary. So later on, of course, I'm going to increase area, any area damage as well. So overall, again, trying it out, it actually works very well. Here I'm actually tapping, you see, when they got a bit close. Got a unique. But in general, focus on your resistances always first. As you can see, my build works very well until 15, and then I wanted to make changes. Even if I make changes so far, it works very well because I, you know, stay tight to the original build. It works very well too for tier 15. I didn't even use here, I think, Hands of God, because, you know, I just wanted to test things out. But of course, you have this utility as well, which is also great. So I like the fact that I don't really need to order it perfectly. I can just use, of course, Sunder and then Volcanic Fissures, or if I use Volcanic Fissure first, then Sunder. Whatever I do, all of them erupt. And that's it. If you have other tips, by the way, for others or something you think can be useful, let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.